Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2. Today we've got a patch, guys. The Steps of Isha with the Make War Not Love event has dropped with a patch as well. Quite a few general bug fixes, but let's go ahead and jump straight to the balancing changes. So this is the stuff everyone's interested in. Empire is going to be getting quite a few buffs across the board. Some minor buffs to Great Swords. Empire Spearmen get a slight reduction in cost, the shielded variant. Some notable changes here. Flagellants get plus 4 AP. They do lose 3 base damage, but 4 AP. Pistoliers also get 1 more AP missile damage, which is very nice. We bring them to 2 shots with 2 AP per volley, which is pretty nice. Plus 4 charge bonus, plus 2 melee attack as well. Way Watchers did get a pretty considerable nerf. Hawkish precision went from 40% to 15%, and they'll no longer stagger cavalry with their shots, which I thought was a little bit ridiculous. Sisters of Thorn went up in cost, that's probably fine. Foot Squires get another bonus versus infantry. Battle Pilgrims, minor buff here. Really not too much to talk about here. Let's see. Pesticle Herd got a minor nerf. Airboys have Orc Airboys and Savage Orc Airboys now have slightly higher AP. Pegasus Knights, Knights of the Realm and Royal Pegasus Knights all get melee defense. Men-at-Arms with Polearms get an extra bonus versus large. Dark Shards with Shields get more cost. Queek gets less cost, as does the Bonebreaker. Centaurs and Centaurs with Throwing Axes have also had their splash attacks removed, and Centaurs with Throwing Axes also have less ammo now, which I think is a fair change. They were probably the best skirmish cav in the game previously. Lore Master of Hoeth, who cares? Plague Furnace, minus 2 melee defense, great. Skink Chief, plus 50 cost, okay. Could still probably nerf his ammo in about half and he'd be fine. Feral, whatever, who cares? Questing Knights get a bit more AP damage, minus 2 base damage, and can now use Lance. Grail Guardians can also now use Lance. We'll talk more about Lance in just a minute. Chameleon Skinks, less melee defense is great. Chaos Warriors get a morale and charge bonus buff, all variants, which is nice. Well, I guess just the regular Chaos Warriors get the charge bonus, but all Chaos Warriors do get more morale, which is nice. More leadership, rather. Orc Biggins, 1 charge bonus. Cairn Wraiths, 2 charge bonus. Knights of the Blazing Sun cost less. Silver Helms get slightly higher charge bonus, as do Horned Ones. Dread Knights get more melee defense. I've never really seen the point of Horned Ones or Dread Knights, but whatever. Chariot of the Gods is slightly cheaper for Cetra. Screaming Skull is also slightly cheaper. Ushabti with Great Bows get minus 1 ammo, which is, I'm sure, not going to be... Some people aren't going to be happy about this. I think it's okay, but... Cameron War Sphinx is got less charge bonus and less health, and one of the bugs they fixed is where the War Sphinx and other single model entity units would continually refresh their charge bonus, so hopefully that's fixed. We'll test it out and see. Rune of Wrath and Ruin now has a much longer range, but is capped at max 4 uses, which I think is a great change. All direct damage bound abilities should be, or any damage dealing bound abilities rather, should be capped. Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin now has max 3 uses. The only one I think now that's not capped is Accusation, which look for that to probably be capped in the next patch. But let's see, ability changes. This is the really fun stuff here. So Dragon Breath got improved a little bit. They went back on their nerf hammer last time, just slightly. And Lance Formation, this is the really big change and the one I want to take a look at today. Removed negative stat modifiers. So previously there was a pretty big debuff when you were using the Lance Formation to your speed and I believe it was speed, acceleration, something like that. We'll go ahead and take a look at it closer in just a minute, but Murderous Prowess and Mastery was also nerfed. Old Grumblers was slightly nerfed, as was Fate of Unit and Regrowth. Savage Dominion also costs more. Fiery Convocation costs less, and Liber Bubonicus lasts 5 seconds less, which means it is, of course, going to deal less damage. So, let's go ahead and jump straight into a replay with Bretonnia, because I did fight a replay just now with the Knights of Bretonnia using the new Lance Formation. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. My Lord's going to be Lewin Leon Kerr. I've got 4 Grail Knights, 4 Men-at-Arms with Polearms, 4 Peasant Mobs, a single Pox Arrow. We've also got a Damsel Lore of Life carrying a standard healing kit, and we're facing up against the Warriors of Chaos. So, just quickly going over my opponent's army here. He's got a Hell Cannon, Kolek Sun Eater. The caster is going to be a Lore of Shadows Sorcerer. Looks like he's got Pit of Shades, Penumbral Pendulum, and Melkos Mystifying Miasma. Decent spell kit. I would have probably liked to see Enfeebling Foe, but yeah, it's a decent spell selection. He's got 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds out on the flanks, Chaos Chariot with a Poison Warhound in a sweeper position here, unit of Aspiring Champions for leadership support. We've got also regular Dragon Ogres, Forsaken here, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and kick it into full gear. I'm just going to be advancing straight up the pipe here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're just going to be going straight in. This Hell Cannon is going to be able to do a little bit of damage at range, but missed that first shot. It looked like it was maybe targeting Lewin, probably just on fire at will there. But yeah, we're just going to go straight in. I'm just going to kind of fly Lewin up and around here to distract my opponent. And yeah, I was really curious to try the new Lance formation, so we're just going to go in ride along cam here with these Grail Knights, I think. And watch as they kind of form up into the Lance formation. We'll form up once we get a little bit closer here, but it remains to be seen. I need to do a little bit more testing with it, just based on what I've played so far, though. It definitely seems like Bretonnian Knights are going to be a lot stronger, so you can see them now forming up into that Lance formation there. So we'll give it a watch as they go charging straight into these Chaos Warriors here. We've got a unit charging into those Dragon Ogres, and 2 more units charging into Forsaken and Chaos Warriors over on the far side. So they're just going to come in here and absolutely lance these brutes down. And yeah, you can see how much shock damage they actually did there. Just an immense amount of shock damage, even on a heavily armored, 100 armor infantry. They just come in here and do half HP damage on a charge. We're going to immediately try and pull away here. Lewin dropped in on these... You can see these Dragon Ogres just got completely dumpstered. We did drop a regrowth on this unit of Grail Knights here, but Lewin, the terror from Lewin and that charge from the Grail Knights was enough to pretty much break those Dragon Ogres, make them more or less combat ineffective. We did go through another charge, and you see how the Lance formation now effectively breaks through, and you then have the speed to kind of pull through and cycle around to a different target. This is the reason why I think the Lance formation is going to be incredibly strong now. Now that it doesn't have those debuffs, you can ping-pong around very effectively while still in it, and it gives you a huge buff. So if we actually look here what the Lance formation gives you as these Grail Knights lance down these Warriors of Chaos here. So it gives plus 36% charge bonus and 24% charge speed, which, I mean, if you're chasing someone, for example, that extra charge speed, once you hit that charge animation, can be very, very nice. It puts their charge bonus all the way up to 106, which is by far and away the highest of any cavalry unit in the game. So they're just crushing these units of Chaos Warriors. I did get a little bit overzealous with these guys, got hit by the regrouped Rat Ogres and Melkos Mystifying Miasma as well. They did take quite a bit of damage, but you can see Kolek is being inundated here by these Grail Knights. We're going to try and pull away here. Penumbral Pendulum only catching peasant mobs, probably a little bit of a waste of Winds of Magic, but I'm happy about that. We did take a little bit of damage from the halberds on the units on the flanks, and you can see that it doesn't make them completely invincible. It just gives them a ridiculous charge bonus, so we're just going to be peppering Kolek with that poison arrow fire, just continuously kind of poking away at him. And yeah, you can see just in that Grail formation, just continuing to ping-pong around, cycle down, and crush these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. And they're just taking so much shock damage. Already got an XP Chevron on this Grail Knight. Not quite on this Grail Knight, but we're pretty close. These other 2 Grail Knights over here, this one is almost an XP Chevron. This one, the same deal. They're just riding through. And even this unit of Chaos Warriors with halberds is still going to take a ton of shock damage. Kolek, very nicely placed Lord of the Storm. Lord of the Storm actually does quite a bit of damage to cavalry. You can see it just completely drops a few Grail Knights there. Does quite a bit of damage, and he's going to follow it up immediately with a much better placed Penumbral Pendulum that cleaves through quite a few of those men-at-arms with pole arms, and then they get terrified by Kolek. We're going to start to pepper in those pox arrows as well, but at this point the Knights of Bretonnia are riding to the rescue, just rear charging these Chaos Warriors, and now ping-ponging around to another target, just going to be riding in, lancing down these unchivalrous brutes, and getting in on Kolek. Of course, they do have the anti-large bonus, more Melkos Mystifying Miasma, which is going to be pretty good. It slows down the Grail Knights, deals direct magic damage, so that's a pretty nice pick there. But so far so good. Grail Knights are still on the field, even though they are pretty tattered. Balance power starting to shift in my favor. Lewin has come down to pick off this Hell Cannon crew, and oh man, that poor little Chaos Dawi just suffered a terrible fate. But Yeah, you can see Kolek is just inundated at this point by the Grail Knights. His Chaos Warriors are pretty much all broken at this point. They just can't hold up to so much sustained shock damage from continued cycle charges from these Grail Knights here. So Chaos Chariots are able to chase off quite a few of my peasant mobs, which is, you know, good. They definitely want to cleave through those chaff and try and keep them off the battlefield as much as possible. He did get his hounds after I was able to expend about half ammunition on these pox arrows, so pretty good play there. But Kolek is very low at this point. We're going to bring King Lewin down into combat against him with the support of Grail Knights and these men-at-arms with polearms here. And yeah, it's going to be a bad day for Kolek. Maybe if Lewin can get some attack animations, but he did also drop the Sword of Corone there and Lion Shield as well. So very fun stuff. Kolek's going to rout off the battlefield, and now we're going to turn our attention to the Shadow Sorcerer himself, and 1 or 2 attacks from Lewin should finish the job here. So well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and it definitely bears a little bit more testing here, but just based on initial impressions, I do think the new and improved Lance formation is going to be very powerful. I want to test it out. Questing Knights and Grail Guardians can now take it as well, which is going to be very interesting. Both those units don't have the best charge bonus, so I'd be interested to see kind of how that works out, charging into a line of infantry. But in this battle, it definitely worked out for the Grail Knights in several cases. The one unit of Grail Knights I kind of threw away. The other ones, though, got a ton of work done, 88 kills and 81. Considering my opponent had a relatively low model count army, this is very impressive. 33 kills and XP Chevron here. This men-at-arm, that XP Chevron was dished out before the battle, so nothing really to write home about there. But, you know, really the Grail Knights now with that 106 charge bonus from that Lance formation are going to be a force to be reckoned with, absolutely. And I'm curious to see. I'm pretty sure they would beat down any other cav unit in the game in that formation. I'd have to check that and just test it out and see. But yeah, Lewin taking pretty much no damage there, and the Damsel Lore of Life also doing her job, helping keep those Grail Knights alive as long as possible. For my opponents, Kolek, you know, did some pretty nice work. 90 kills, got quite a few kills on Grail Knights as well. The Dragon Ogres, really rough to get these guys shut down so early on, and just getting the Chaos Warriors in the front line also just shut down by repeated cycle charges from Grail Knights. It's a really rough situation. The Forsaken also just got cleaved through right at the beginning, so pretty tough for my opponent. I'm interested to see how different factions are going to counter this. Obviously, Fate of Yuna would have been, you know, a potential counter here, although it did get an increase in its Winds of Magic cost, so that is something to consider. But I do still think it'll be a very useful tool at dealing with elite tier cavalry, such as Bretonia. Yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Total War Warhammer 2 content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.